might think that gerbils like this are pretty much useless unless you're going to make good companions out of them, of course, but you're wrong. Hi, everyone. I'm Leeza Gibbons.
And I'm John Walls. Welcome to tonight's PM Magazine. And notice that I'm not petting the thing. I'll let Leeza take care of those first. Hi, fella.
You give him a real small animal with a real long tail, and he just can't handle it.
There's something about gerbils. I don't know. They're too nervous for me.
Tonight we're going to meet some that are pretty talented, though.
Ooh, extremely so. Of course, you know, a gerbil being a great pet to have at home, but these gerbils have a little more use than that. They are used at work. They are accu-gerbils, and what they do is predict the weather with about 80% accuracy.
I've got to see it to believe it.
I think we will in our first story tonight.
And if you're intimidated by gerbils being able to outwit you with the weather, then you know what it feels like to have a machine beat you in one of those games. Well, if you've ever been frustrated by that event, then you'll appreciate our second story tonight. We're going to the ultimate man-against-machine battle.
Then in our departments, Dr. Candy Klecka concludes her series on dog obedience by showing you how to get your dog to sit and stay when you want it to.
Captain Carrot tells us why having lots of friends can improve your health. And then Joan Embry takes us to the San Diego Zoo to meet one of its wettest inhabitants, a very clever seal named Corky.
And if you're worried about tomorrow's weather, and who isn't, tune in to the accu-gerbils. We'll find out that they are amazingly accurate.
20 minutes before 7 o'clock, 51 degrees now, and we should be warm today, up 70 to 75 degrees, turning colder tonight.
The media makes a big deal about the weather these days. But at KAAM radio, weather forecasting has taken on a slightly different twist. The morning show features Dick Hitt and Tony Garrett, and they take a lighter look at the elements with the help of a couple rodent forecasters named Tim and Squeaker. That's right, folks, accu-gerbil weather, the latest in predicting paraphernalia, has come to Dallas-Fort Worth.
The ice storms that started in January 1979 first got us noticing. We had severe ice out here and the cold and the rain and all that, and they just buried themselves right, in fact, underneath this little upper level here. They just had the nest all packed in tight. They were burrowed way down deep in the chips, and they would come out maybe just for an hour or two and drink a little bit of water, go back in, had their food all buried underneath. We decided that they were, in fact, responding to the weather and started watching them from that point.
Randy Dickason is the father of accu-gerbil weather, and he claims great accuracy for his pets' predictions, especially when they disagree with the National Weather Service.
If the National Weather Service has changed their forecast dramatically, and the gerbils have not changed their nest, we will say, well, the weather forecast is calling for some rain today. The gerbils did not put a roof on during the night, so we think it's going to be clear today.
We just have to go along with the flow of cosmic truth. You know, if gerbils can do the weather, okay, it's not like we were working with gophers or wolverines or some silly stuff, you know.
There really is an art to looking at the nest. We primarily use the nest for the forecast. And so the continual reference is to the gerbil nest, the way the walls are stacked up, the thickness of the nest, whether they're burrowed underneath it, whether they're lying on top of it, whether it's open or closed. All these references are, to the immediate daily forecast, very important.
And the temperature pretty pleasant for this time of year. 52 was a high today, 29 was a morning low, just about as
Of course, there are two sides to every story. So we decided to check in with Tim and Squeaker's competition.
Well, I don't have a lot of trust in gerbils. I have gerbils at home. We started with Pee-wee and Louie. And my mistrust developed when Louie had babies. And we had to rename him Mrs. Louie. And after that, anything a gerbil said does not really do a whole lot for me.
Just for the record, when our friends here don't agree with the National Weather Service, they are 80% accurate. But how do they do it? One school of thought is that innate barometric sensitivity allows them to feel changes coming in the weather. Others contend the accu-gerbils simply watch TV weathermen and then predict the opposite. Whatever the reason, they do have a limited range. Their rodent radar sweep only extends as far as Duncanville and Mesquite. And for some strange reason, the gerbils can't seem to predict North Dallas weather. Perhaps the buildings in their Irving location block the little fellow's natural vibrations. At any rate, one thing is certain, though. These gerbils can only predict the weather,
We tried them on financial forecasting, and they were a total flop.
No good fiscal
good at all.
stuff. No.
They're not material beings, you see. They don't really care much about gold and silver and prime rate and all that. We tried them on that, and it was a flop. We tried them on sports forecasting. They don't even care about football, so, you know, that was a flop. I think we're stuck with weather. It's about the best we can do. So.
Well, they like college football, but they don't like professional football.
Why is that?
Well, they're purists.
It's exactly 6:30, KAAM 1310, the magazine of the air with Dick Hitt and Tony Garrett, and now with Frank Gentry and Vicki Robbins and a summary of news. Tony, Iran is trying to make it perfectly clear this morning.
Rights violations and could save thousands of lives.
Good morning, guys. Wake up. Come on. Come on, let's look at the nest.
And we do have some changes coming in the weather. We'll be talking more about that here in a couple of minutes. We'll have the official forecast from the National Weather Service, Rick Griffin's weather scan forecast, but most importantly, we'll have the AccuGerbil forecast, the one we all live and breathe by.
The truth from the bottom of the gerbil cage from Randy Dickason in Irving and our AccuGerbils.
In a sense, we're poking fun at the fuss that radio stations have made about their exclusive weather forecasters, the Accu this and the Accu that, with the AccuGerbil bit. And I think it's because of the tongue-in-cheek approach, I think people smile about it. But now we're going to find out what's really going to happen. Randy Dickason and the AccuGerbils on the line with us. Good morning, Randy.
Good morning, guys.
Well, we pretty much see the same things for today as the National Weather Service. The gerbils do have an open nest. However, we're looking at a very unusual metamorphosis. They are moving back to the cellar.
I think that is an indication that the winter weather is coming. In fact, we will
officially declare winter here a few days early this year, just much as we declared the heat wave to an end. Today, wide open in the tissue box. They're real contented, walking around very leisurely, taking it easy.
I think we're going to see a beautiful day today, but I think we're going to have a little bit more severe weather coming up this weekend and hereafter than we've been calling for before.
You can tell all that from the shape of the cedar chips in the bottom of the cage.
With two nests, I'm going to go with twice the accuracy this time. Absolutely.
That's our patented AccuGerbil weather with the Weather Service, which is 100% correct, about 71% of the time.
You got it.
Yeah, and we're happy to have that report from you, Randy, and Tim, and you too, Squeaker.
Yes, and Tony the cat. Y'all have a good one, and bye-bye.
And there you have it, Tim and Squeaker's prognostication of the day. Just remember, though, gerbology forecasts are only good for 12 hours. So after about 6 p.m., they cannot be held responsible for weather changes. Just like typical weather forecasters, always looking for a built-in excuse. We'll have our PM departments with no excuses in just a minute, so don't go away.
Okay, Max, one more chance. 1 sniff for rain, 2 sniffs for dry weather.
Max just wants to be fed, John.
All right. Have a good weekend, Max, and the rest of you have a good weekend, too. We'll see you on Monday.
See you Monday. Good night.
Good night.
Tonight, after the News 8 update, more on the incredible unfolding story of how the American hostages were freed. ABC's Ted Koppel takes you behind the scenes with the officials who directed this remarkable drama. Tonight, after the update on Channel 8.